Standard 9, Political Science, Chapter number 6, International Problems. The next stage in this regard was the Environmental Conference at Rio in 1992. In this conference, the idea of sustainable development was stressed. Development which we can sustain, development that we can carry forward. Different treaties regarding biodiversity, climate change due to greenhouse gases, protection of forests, etc. were signed. All the nations will help each other in increasing the variety of the plants and animals that they have in their country. They will be working towards reducing the greenhouse gases, the gases coming out of the electrical appliances like refrigerators and the industrialization process, and protection of forests, etc. These treaties were signed between the countries. In 1997, the conference at Kyoto laid down the protocols for the developed countries for preventing climate change. These protocols were for the countries which have already developed. These were applicable for a period of 15 years. After this, a conference on climate change was held at Paris in November 2015. In this conference, an appeal was made that all nations should make concerted efforts to stop climate change and global warming, and that the developed countries should help the developing countries to acquire the technology to achieve these goals. Since the developed countries have superior technology in achieving these goals, they can help the developed countries in acquiring them, using them, and helping the world in bringing out a positive effect. Moving ahead with terrorism, this is a major problem of our times. In the recent years, several countries in the world are facing these problems. No nation is capable of countering terrorism entirely on its own. Hence, terrorism is considered to be a global problem. If a short note is asked on terrorism, why is it considered to be a global problem? This will be the answer. Now, what is terrorism? Terrorism is spreading fear and terror in a society by using or threatening to use violence against common and innocent people for achieving political goals. Terrorism is an organized and planned violence. This is the definition of terrorism. 1 mark question. This needs to be the answer. Terrorism has made a deep and long-term impact on international politics. In the last 2 decades, in the last 20 years, terrorist conflict appears to have increased in different countries. Terrorist conflict is different from traditional war. Traditional war is a conflict between 2 or more sovereign states, 2 or more countries, and in such wars, the geographical boundaries between nations acquire importance. Every country is fighting to protect its boundaries or to spread its boundaries. That is, national security is connected with geographical boundaries in case of a traditional war. On the other hand, in the case of terrorism, terrorist groups can cause violence in any part of the world from anywhere in the world. They are not required to be physically present in the country where they want to have an impact. The aim of a terrorist attack is not to endanger the geographical boundaries, but the aim is to challenge a regime or a rule in a country or refuse to acknowledge the existence of the state, of the country. For example, if a particular country or if a particular government of a country is not liked by the terrorists, they attack that country, they are attacking the government, but they are attacking the government by harming the people, the common people of the country, by causing losses in the form of property in that country. This means that due to increasing terrorism, the internal security of a country is threatened in addition to external security. How internal security is threatened? Because there may be violence within the country. People may not be happy with the government policies, and due to the loss of lives, due to the loss of property, people may go against the local governments. In order to curb terrorism, it is imperative, it is necessary that the security mechanisms of different nations should work in a concerted manner. How can they work in a concerted manner? By giving inputs, by sharing knowledge about various terrorist outfits, terrorist organizations, and terrorist individuals with each other.